spring. There's the porcupine grass. See if there's anything greens or irises. Can't see any green yet. See if we find green if we make a cut. I think there's some green in there. There is one plant right here, and you can see some new grass growing in right here, right there, and if you look closely, some of the blades have red on the inside and some green. Here's a nice green blade of grass. It's spreading from the main center over there. There's one plant's worth of last year's growth, and there it is. And by the time this time next year, it'll look like this. So here's the second one. I am cutting a bit high, but that's just to get the long blades out of the way, and then I'm going to go back in and shorten them. At this point they're about 2-3 inches high. So the tips are brown. Some already have a little bit of green in them. Here's a new blade right here. These are iris leaves from that beautiful yellow iris from Grandma Sandy. This is totally optional, but I'm just going to go in and lower these stalks or stems. But all of these will be covered anyway once the grass starts growing in. There's some blades of the porcupine grass that are more green than the others right next to the iris. And I'm just going to leave these cut pieces as mulch. Here I am next to this Japanese silver grass, and I'm just going to blindly cut as low as I can, not even a look. It has very similar flowers to the porcupine grass and the maidenhair grass. The blades are much smaller and thinner, so they're a lot easier to cut, but they're also very easily cut easily, so be careful. And I think I've cut it all. I'm gonna pick up what I cut. I'm gonna try not to grab anything I didn't cut because it will cut your fingers. I got most of it on my first try. Pretty much done. There's a new blade. You can see some red in there, and you can tell that it was already starting to grow. I like to try to get it done either in the fall so that I don't have to cut the tips of the new blades. The only problem with that is you miss the beauty of the blades of grass in the snow, so that's why I end up leaving it. But then the spring is always too cold to cut, so I end up cutting the tips, but that's okay. You won't tell once it goes in. If you want to, you can cut more. And you can leave these little pieces, no problem, laying around. I think this one's starting to die back in the center. You can see there's like soil right here instead of blades of grass, and that's fine. You can dig it up, take it apart into pieces, and then plant them into separate plants. Now let it grow. It's not perfect, but it looks way better. Here we go. Way out, but since I'm doing a grass video, I want to show you an update of the Karl Forester. Trimmed it in early spring, and look how much it's grown. Actually, it was still winter. If you want to see how I trimmed that, you can find the video on my channel. I'll try to link it in the description too. See how perfect the blades are that I didn't snip, but here you can see where I cut the blades that were already growing. In the grand scheme of things, you won't be able to see it, but that is the reason why I like to get to it as soon as possible.